Hi everyone, welcome. And today, as you already know, I have a very special guest, Walter Vera, who is my husband, but he also has a great story to share about his own healing process and how he discovered spirituality and how spirituality helped him. I hope you can hear us well because we have some of the construction is going on upstairs, but hopefully you can hear us well. So let us know if you can hear us and see us well, and hopefully it's gonna be a very good interview. So Walter, tell. So he's the only person I can actually interview in person.
In this time, so
Yeah.
Right.
So, can you please tell the audience a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and how did you end up in the United States, and how long you've been here?
all right. Hi, my name is Walter Vera, and I am from Lima, Peru. All right, all the way from South America, and I got a great fortune to be able to come to this country in the year 2000, and that's where the story begins, right, for this part.
Yeah, let me just ask if you guys can hear us well. If you can hear Walter, maybe we should speak a little bit louder. Probably we need to speak a little bit louder.
All right. Well, let me clear my throat. Much better.
So, when you came to the States, you started working.
Well, I started going to school, trying to learn English, and also working as in restaurants, as a busboy, and eventually I became a waiter. It was a very stressful job, let me tell you that. And eventually I decided to change the way of making a living by looking into the tourism business. Tourism, I became a salesman in a big tour company in Los Angeles, which I'm not going to mention. And I became one of the top 10. So then eventually I became a manager. And then I decided to continue growing into this field, into this touristic field in Los Angeles, which has a lot to offer.
So you've been in the tour business for quite a while.
Yeah.
And can you tell us how did you discover that you had a chronic disease, which was rheumatoid arthritis, right?
Yes, then eventually, due to difficult times, ups and downs, in 2007, I was actually hit by this disease. I didn't know what it was. I started feeling the effects of becoming slow, and my movements, and every move I made was painful. And I said, oh my God, it'll go away. Maybe I just have fatigue, I'm working too much. And I'm not sleeping my regular hours or the hours that I'm supposed to sleep. I'm probably partying too much, right? So that's what I thought. And then one day I couldn't move. I was in so much pain, and I rushed to the hospital. All right. Well, of course, I received some help from family members. They took me to the hospital. And after the analysis came out, the doctor came with a very sad face about. I thought it was something super, super, super bad about the news, and that moment was bad. But he said, "You have rheumatoid arthritis." I replied, I think you should double check again because I'm super young.
How old were you?
26. All right, 26. Yeah. So I'm super young to be able to get this. This is not right. Maybe you got the blood work, the analysis mixed up, right? Because it could happen. So the doctor said, no, this happens at any age and time. Yeah, it mostly happens for people that are in an advanced age, but this is what you have right now. And I say, so how can we cure it? Because I was willing to set myself in the, I'm sick, you know, and no, I believe there was a cure. And they said, no, there is no cure. We don't know what causes it, and there is no remedy for it. We can give you pills to help you go by, you know, to help you continue with your life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a daily pill, which will allow you the inflammation to go down and the pain. Also, we will give you painkillers, and also there is a pill, is a chemotherapy pill that they use for rheumatoid arthritis to reset the immune system.
But first they use it for cancer patients.
And also, yes, it's a cancer patient pill, but then they started using for rheumatoid arthritis. And it does work, but it is temporary. It's not fixing the problem. You know, it's just making you making it go lower,
mm-hmm.
but it's still there. The problem is still there. It's not going away. So chemotherapy, painkillers, and anti-inflammation pills.
Mm-hmm.
So in the condition that I was, I decided to take it for the first 2 months.
Then how did you feel during
I
that
felt
time?
terrible. Even though I was managing, you know, with these pills to be under less pain and less inflammation, my insides didn't feel well. To be honest with you, no.
Mm-hmm. So basically, these
Digestion
pills were
system
like
and-
fixing some of your problems, but they were also creating more problems in your body, right?
Correct.
Okay.
And you feel it. When you take this medication, you feel that something is not right. You know, you
Mm-hmm.
feel that, okay, yes, it's helping me with the arthritis, but there is a nausea. There is some feeling in the stomach that you just don't feel right about it. You know.
Right.
There's a negative feeling about it. Not because it was in my mind, it's because I felt it physically, you know.
And so how did you came to realization that you needed to change your diet and the lifestyle?
I realized that there were some things, you know, you get use a little bit of common sense to, you know. And I realized that there's some things that I did probably to cause this, or I was exposed to something. So I went on a search. I went on a investigation mode, and I got it because I didn't feel well taking those pills. I got into the investigation of how to solve this disease or this, you know, health issue
Mm-hmm.
with natural products, with I believe they call it homeopathic
Homeopathic or holistic
medicine.
Mm-hmm.
And I also started digging into myself, digging spirituality, digging into the consciousness of myself, about to rearrange the way how I acted, the way how I eat, the way how I, you know, take my, you know, do things in my life,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
the way how I react to life or act towards life or to other people. So yes.
So you created a change in your diet, in your lifestyle, and you found spirituality. But let's begin with the diet. What exactly, what kind of changes have you made with your diet and your lifestyle first?
All right. In my research, I realized that we have to eat raw products, and the ones I'm talking about are greens.
Mm-hmm.
Everything to do with vegetables, some of the fruits, and also the type of meat we consume, the type of beef, the type of chicken, the type of fish, all that comes together. Because I don't believe into going on one extreme and being completely vegetarian.
Mm-hmm.
I want to keep the balance.
Right.
a little bit of everything, you know, like, of course you have to take sometimes maybe a week off or 2 weeks off from the red meat, or from chicken, or from beef, or from, fish.
But what exactly did you do with your diet? How your diet were different?
Oh, my diet, I used to eat fast food, a lot of soda, Coca-Cola, a lot of sugars, honestly, like, and salty, sugar and salty items, things, and just a little bit of vegetables now and then,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
And so how did you...
And then I removed the sugar,
Mm-hmm.
and of course, I lowered the consumption of sugar, you know. I also stopped drinking Coca-Cola, or, you know, any commercial sodas, you know. I stopped eating fast food, especially the fried food, you know, those French fries, because we don't know what kind of oil they use for that. French fries are no bad. It's just the type of oil they use. All right.
So keep going.
Hamburgers, cheeseburgers, all of it, all of the fast food. Also those Cheetos, Doritos, M&Ms. I removed them from my life. And I diminished the consumption of alcohol. Because that's another thing that I find out, that alcohol can cause be a big factor of inflammation.
For sure, yeah.
You know, so I diminished. I'm not gonna tell you I got rid of it, because it's something that I'm pretty sure everybody enjoys it. But like I said, 1 glass, 2 glasses of beer.
And then what did you do differently? Like, what did you start doing that you haven't done before?
Then I exercise.
No, I mean with your diet.
Oh, my diet, of
Yeah.
course. Then I started juicing. Yeah, that's the first thing that I started doing, because it seemed to be an easy way of eating all these vegetables. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you say, oh my God, celery, cucumber, kale, apples, a little bit of ginger. What else? What else I put in there? A little bit of lemon. A little bit of cilantro, and you know what? I said, let's juice it up, you know, because I was not an expert in making salads. I didn't know what to mix it with. So juicing was the fastest and easiest way how to consume all these products.
So you begin your morning with juice?
My morning was with this rich, you know, glass of juice and greens.
And then what did you eat besides juice?
Then I started doing the diet of, I removed the beef for a while, all right. I won't lie to you, maybe 3 months. And I started eating fish, salmon. Salmon was my number one, and it is, you know, on the fish, number one. And then also chicken or turkey.
Okay.
That was part of my protein. And then I still eat rice, because rice is a big part of my, you know,
of your heritage.
Of my heritage. You know, and in Peru, everything we eat with rice. It's like in Mexico, everything they eat with tortillas, right? Yeah, Peru is it's like a little bit of an Asian influence.
And so you implemented this new diet when?
And salads too.
And so and also you stopped taking the pills, right?
And I stopped taking the pills when I started doing and it was painful, honestly. Stopping taking the medication from the doctors, those chemicals, it brought me back to feeling the pain and the inflammation again. So what I did was just cut the pills and let's prove it to ourselves if this works or not. So I fasted my bell and then just I went into it because I got nothing to lose. You know what I mean? What could have it was just gonna get worse. I was gonna get inflammation and more pain, which I already experienced for a while. So.
And the pills are always there,
And
just
also,
in case.
and
right?
also, yes, if it doesn't work, I can always go back to the Western medicine.
And so, how long was it until you saw the change?
Well, 3 months.
So 3 months of the diet and no medications
And no medication.
exercising.
And also, yeah, exercising. Another thing before exercising, meditation.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's get into this spiritual part of your healing journey.
Okay.
So you haven't done meditation before. What have you done on the spiritual part? Can you tell a little bit of your spiritual journey since the beginning?
All right. So it goes back to Peru. My family, all right, they practice shamanism. It comes from what I know, it's my grandfather, my great grandfathers, and my great uncles also. They're from the northern part of Peru, in an area called Chiclayo, and they were known as the Santos Vera, the Saint Veras, because of their shamanistic skills. They seem to be very effective in the community. So they gain fame. And of course, later in life, my family members on my father's side, of course, they moved to the capital. Yeah, so, but that's where my spirituality comes from. It comes from my ancestors and my father's side.
Right, so you've been spiritual since you were a little kid.
Yeah, because even though we were born and raised Catholic, we were always have in mind, well, especially my father and uncles and some of my, uncles, right, family members, they seek for it. They went on looking for a spiritual clarification, for this. There is an extra way of being able to see the bigger picture. So it's through the spiritual path. So they went and did some consultations. Not every day, but every time they were not able to solve the problems, every time they were not able to solve the problems with common sense, with trying their best. So they said, maybe there is something else that I'm not able to see, so let's go and have a consultation with a shaman, because I'm not able to see the whole picture. Especially, I got this from my father too.
And so so when you moved to United States, how did you fulfill that need for spirituality?
Then I came in touch with me and my brother. Okay, my older brother. We came across some shamans in Los Angeles. Just going out to meetings, or meeting people in the restaurant. Let's put it that way, because that's how it really happened. And I remember I used to work in the restaurant too, so that's how you get to meet people too. Oh, thank you for coming to our wonderful restaurant, right? And how may I serve you? What is the special of the day? And then you start a conversation with the customer, right? And we were very genuine about it. So, because we wanted to know what this person does for a living, what brought them to the restaurant, where do they live, and what else they do, and then it came out that this person that we meet, was into spirituality, practicing a part of a spirituality that is called Santeria. All right, this is something that this person learned from the Caribbean style of doing divination, and also getting a clarification about what goes on in your life, which comes all the way from Africa.
And
All right?
so you...
I can get into that later. But
Yeah, so you got together with this person and you discover...
that there is for me, this is what I knew as a shaman.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know what was Santeria. In Peru, we don't know what is Santeria. We know about shamanism, about chanting and getting into the trance or concentration to be able to summon these spiritual forces, so you can get an answer. Also, you can get a information about how to solve this particular problem in your life, or to tell you what is it that you have to do to advance, or to give you heads up. Hey, something is coming your way. Get ready, prepare yourself. So we learn about Santeria that way, meeting people in restaurants or in social places.
But then, besides the Santeria, you found out there's a bigger picture, right?
And then, yes, and knowing about Santeria also motivate me to investigate where all this comes from. You know what I mean? Because I guess, okay, but it comes from the Caribbean, and they practice it over there, and in the United States too. So I was just searching for where is the source, how this, because you have to do your investigation, not just believe everything somebody comes and tells you. You gotta prove it to you, or investigate and see, okay, the person is releasing or talking about something that it has a foundation. You know what I mean? So I was looking for the foundation about what this spirituality path of Santeria was. So I discovered that it comes from Africa, from the western part of Africa, and it's not called Santeria. It's called Ifa, I-F-A, Ifa, and it's it's a system of communication based on two symbols, or a binary code of ones and zeros, or that form a code. And this particular code of ones and zeros embodies a message. And when you go for consultation, this message applies to you in this particular time, and a space. This particular code that comes out and you do a reading has information that will serve you to be able to, again, solve the problems that you're facing, or be able to see beyond your sight of what is coming for you, whether it's good or bad, whether it's also the advices could be also a change of character. Maybe the person is acting in a way that is not favorable to this person and to nobody in his surroundings. So this character, or this bad character, can bring him losses, or bring her losses. They can lose a job, they can lose a partner, a friendship, they can lose opportunities. So when you tap into the spiritual realm and you get this information, it gives you that awareness, right? Of, hey, you gotta watch out, otherwise these are the possibilities that can happen. Or maybe you are on track, you're getting a reading and then you're on track of what you're supposed to be doing in life, And then it tells you, oh yes, when the code comes out, it tells you, okay, yes, you're doing fine, you're doing good, everything is in your favor. But remember, life is like this, okay? Life goes up and down, for everybody. No matter if you're the president, the king, or a master yoga, or a vegetarian, carnivore, whatever you are, a son of anarchy, or even a spiritual, coach, or life goes up and down.
Yeah.
you know.
So it's better to be prepared.
So it helps you to be aware, to be prepared, you know. But also, of course, you have to be sync with it. You got to believe in it. You got to also connect yourself to it, because it takes the conscious mind, to be able to allow you to connect to it.
Right.
Just like the Ifa practitioner, or they call it Babalao over there in Africa. It means the father of mysteries, you know, the one who actually does these readings, right? Or the Ifa practitioner, all right, the Ifa interpreter, which I prefer to consider myself as an Ifa interpreter of this mystical system, right?
So yeah, I just want to get back to your healing process. So you already had Ifa in your life, and then you got sick with arthritis, and then you start tapping into the spirituality more. And did you do Ifa and did you do the meditation at the same time during your healing process?
Yes.
And how did it help you?
It helped me a great deal, because again, there were a lot of things that I needed to change in my life personally, like part of my character, all right, that I needed to change because it was affecting my health. Through meditation and through the guidance of Ifa. Because why did I went to seek consultation with Ifa? Because honestly, I wasn't able to see the way how I was acting, the way how I was proceeding. Sometimes we act and we don't know we're being negative, or we are being, I don't know, annoying, or or we're being how can I say? We're being self-destructive to ourselves. All right, we're hexing ourselves with the things we say or with the way how we act. So sometimes it takes another person to tell you, and maybe two people to tell you,
or maybe spirit to tell
you.
you.
Or maybe if you don't rely on the opinions of people, maybe then you might look for a higher weight of spirituality to be able to give you this information, because then Julio or Stephanie or Richard is not telling you that you are acting, you know, horribly, you know what I mean? And then you just get this information, and it's not all about, you know, looking for errors. You know, that's a personal journey too, because it takes of each individual to realize that something needs to change. You know,
right?
So it's a personal journey. So I seek for the information through Ifa and meditation and diet. That's how I decided to made a decision to prove, to put it to the test if this really works.
Did it work?
And it did. I'm very happy and I'm grateful about this knowledge. It wasn't easy because you have to put a lot of work. Honestly, a lot of work.
Because you basically changing your mind, right?
You have to reprogram yourself in talking on a level of you know, the new age understanding, right? You gotta reprogram yourself.
Right.
You know, changing habits that are self-destructive, which again, sometimes we don't see it.
Right.
Sometimes it takes one friend, two friends, three friends to tell you, or someone that doesn't like you, right? And then if that's not enough, well, seek for a higher information, you know, for a spiritual information. A spiritual way of getting this information. Sorry about that.
Yeah, that's it's okay. So it's just I wanted to put this way. So some people need to reconfirm that with other people. Some people need to hear it from the spiritual source, whatever you trust to. But some people also seeking that in a health coach. And that's why we're here, you know, as a health coach, I can help you by talking to you, determine what are the habits of self-destructive and what can you change. So the same was for Walter, but he was seeking the answers through spirituality because he didn't trust the people's opinion, right?
Yeah, knucklehead.
And so you seen the difference, and then how did you discover IFA to be your profession?
All right then. As I was just going for my every regular checkups, it's like going to a doctor. Okay. Hey, I'm doing this and it's not working out. I'm trying this and it's not working out.
You mean you go to
the
Babalao?
To the Babalao, the Ifa diviner.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? I used to go, in the process of doing my healing, and I used to go for consultation.
And what?
For some.
Sorry, just want to make clear for people, what do you get on those consultations? So you get any advice how you need to behave or what you need to do?
All right. Like I say earlier, every code, every reading that you do comes with the specific information about your current situation or some things that you did in the past and that will come in the future. And what this information is, it's using the past to solve the present and the future. Using history, because all these codes embodies history, information, so much wisdom, so you can obtain the blessings that come with the story, with the poem that applies to your current situation. It's amazing, all right? It's amazing that when it happens, when you actually get to see that it applies to you, all right? So I was getting this information, and it required sacrifice. Number one sacrifice is the change of character. Or it could be, all right, you have to watch out about the words you say. The way you speak, I know you're frank, but maybe you are not being cautious or prudent. So if I was asking you to be prudent, because this could cause you problems. And on the other hand, he could say, you know what? You need to be more courageous. You need to take action to be able to overcome the anxieties. It could be the message, oh, there is nothing there. The road is open for you. The only thing is fear. You're facing fear. You're living in fear. The only thing that you need to remove is fear. Nobody wants to attack you. Nobody wants to hurt you or harm you, or don't expect the worst. So these messages will come into the reading, and it will tell you to change this character. Like you have to fight for your rights. You know what I mean? I'm talking about physically. I'm talking about demand what it needs to be yours. Sometimes it will tell you, you know what? Wait. Don't do anything right now. People wants to hurt you, wants to attack you. Stand back. They think they're winning, but no. IFA is recommending you to stay back and enjoy the show. Because something will happen that will turn things around in your favor. So you see the advice that the spirituality that we obtain through IFA, the messages that we obtain, allows us to see maybe 20 moves ahead. All right? And the advice is telling you that you have to wait, be patient, be courageous, or change these characters. So the way you treat people, the way you treat yourself, it will talk about health. It will talk about social behavior. It will talk about unforeseen attacks or unforeseen blessings that you don't want to miss. So and then it will require a sacrifice. Like I say, the first sacrifice is changing the state of mind that you find yourself in. Maybe as a paradigm, is a habit that is blocking your success. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
a habit. You know, you have no enemies. The only enemy is
You stand on your own way.
You know, but like I said, or he could tell you that you do have real enemies. You have real people that they don't like you. They don't want your success. They hate you for some unknown reason, or you know, X situations that went through, and the other person took offense on it. Sometimes we do things and some people just wakes up looking for reasons to be offended.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, oh, you offended me. You said this about my people, my religion, my politic beliefs, and so let's not do that.
So let's get back to your journey. So you received some advice from IFA, and then what was...
And then I wanted to go farther into the IFA world, because I recognize that it is legit. You know, it is legit.
And you were skeptical before.
And true, I was skeptical. Like I understand these systems work because of my background, right? But I was skeptical about the person, the practitioner, who does this, the Babalao, the Ifa diviner. You know, because there are a lot of charlatans in the world.
Yeah.
There are a lot of fakers over there, or people trying to take advantage of others. So that was the way how I was skeptical. Not about the system, about the person.
Who's performing
So in the beginning, like I said, I was testing it. I was testing it, to be honest with you. I was testing it. And I was skeptical towards the person who did it, until eventually I realized that I was very lucky enough to find a really good Babalao in Los Angeles. You know, and of course that took me to go farther, and I decided to go all the way to Africa to be initiated. You see, that's what we do when we find this information, when we do our investigations. Okay, so don't, like I say, somebody tells you something, okay, this is how you make gold, right?
Yeah. Do
your investigation. All right, it's very, very important, and then you go ahead and give your trust to the person, to the coach, to the practitioner of these special trades that will help you to progress and advance in your life. You know, so, and that's what happened. So
you went to Nigeria?
I went to Nigeria, Lagos, Nigeria, on a journey of becoming initiated, because in the process of getting the readings, IFA suggested for me to get the initiation, to be able to see further in my path life, you know. And I went with the help of, I didn't do it alone. I received the help of one of my brothers, my older brother, Henry, and some friends too. All right, so
can you tell our people who listening what is initiation process, and what do you get from that?
All right, the initiation, the rituals, I cannot discuss it on you guys, but it's something that you have to go and
just in general
and experience. You can also do it here in the United States. You can do it right here in the United States. You can do it in different parts of the world where they practice IFA. All right, you don't necessarily have to go to Africa to be able to do this. All right, there is a lot of people capable of doing an initiation here, to be able to get your life path, your destiny path. And I know it's more than just going and getting a zodiac chart, you know. All the constellations tells you that you were born in Sagittarius, but your rising sun is on Leo or something like that. Yeah. No, it's beyond that. All right. So it starts with telling you what are the things you choose before coming to to the world before coming to this three-dimensional world, all right? And he gives you a lot of information about part of a diet, things that you have to avoid eating, because it will block your progress. Also, again, change of character. Some characters, some behaviors that you need to take care, because these are the things that are holding you back. Or this is something that you're not able to see that you do, but IFA sees it. And some people sees it. So the advice is there. You have to comply to be able to progress in life, to be able to grow and evolve in what you are destined to do, the path that you need to walk. And also in this initiation process, I was able to get my professional advice.
And what was it?
My profession, it is to become an IFA diviner. It's about me learning the techniques, the rituals, the herbal. Also has a section of IFA is about herbalism, not just be able to get a reading for people. Also doing some preparations, herbal preparations as a medicine, as a remedy. What else? Be able to, help people to get back on track on their destiny life that they've chosen. And of course, like I say, if you want to know more about, your destiny path, you have to be initiated. All right? And I'm not encouraging everybody or anybody to be initiated, okay? And even though if you get initiated, even though I did get initiated, and I do continue getting my weekly readings, or maybe every 2 weeks, maybe every once a month. Like I said, when there is something I am not able to manage, to control, So then I seek for the spiritual help, or be able to see further. And like I said, it's helping me a great deal, and I love what I do. I love it. I love what I do. I love finding this is very meaningful to me. I love to, help people to get back on track, And of course, it's not my advice. I'm just a medium. I am not a psychic, all right? Don't get me, don't misinterpret it. I'm not a psychic. I am just trained in this IFA system to be able to interpret the message that comes from heaven to earth, okay?
So you've been to Africa for how long? How long was the process of initiation?
It took me a week.
Okay, so you've been there a week, and it's been in
2013.
And so ever since you received that that you need to be a IFA practitioner, you started learning, right?
I started learning. I started studying. Continue with the study. And let me be honest with you, the studying process was not easy, because we still have to support our living, right? It's like you have to work and go to college at the same time, right? If you don't have anybody to support you. So that's what I was doing. I was also, I found a very special person in my life, which also IFA predicted, that I will do. So, and many other things that manifested in my life that IFA has told me, has brought up. And here we are, I am sharing with you this information that it's my own experience, And I decided to start a family with Anastasia, all right. I started to get in other businesses, to be able to, like I say, support my living and also at the same time study IFA.
So
can
you explain
it's
about?
been a long process.
Yeah.
On the
But also there's a lot to learn, right?
There's a lot to learn.
How many codes of IFA and what it takes to become a IFA practitioner?
All right, you have to learn about the 256 codes that IFA has.
256. Okay.
Out of the 256, there are 16 major codes. All right, and these 16 major codes, when you exchange them, they create 256. There's a combination that happens. So the base is 16 codes of IFA, major codes, and then when you combine them, they create the rest, Altogether, 256 codes, and each one embodies or has this data, this information, again, is using the path to solve the problems of the present and to see deeper into the future. What else? I have to learn all this,
You have to memorize this.
I have to memorize this. I have to know the types of remedy that comes with it. It could take, like I say, part of the sacrifice was a change of character. Maybe being in touch with your spiritual self also, right? And second of all, it's a type of offering that the person have to do to be able to receive the help from the spiritual realm. All right, like they say, there is no such a thing as something for nothing. You have to give to get. Right, because if you take, you create a vacuum hole, and then you start wondering what you're losing in life, why you're losing these things. I don't want to go deep into it, but I hope you guys understand me. Okay, so you have to give to get. You have to replace, and what the sacrifice does, the sacrifices, and I'm not talking about, slaughtering of animals or things like, but we have to offer things, right? It's not necessary. That's what I'm saying, because many people has associated Santeria or IFA, IFA with this negative reputation created by certain practitioners that exaggerate or take advantage of the person who is looking for or seeking for answers, or is seeking for help. You know what I mean? So they they exaggerate it in the process of doing the offerings, maybe to obtain more money from the person, maybe to talk for their personal interest. So that's what I'm saying. It takes you for you to give something to be able to receive. So that's part of the sacrifice that I learn how to apply and do. All right, and it could be a food. It could be a dish that you can put together, and be able to offer it to this specific deity. That will help you in this particular situation. All right, so it could be, like I say, as simple as a glass of water.
But it comes out in the reading, right?
But it will come out. It will come out. And we will ask. But there is one thing that one must have to do is a preparation, a dish that you always have to give when you do the sacrifice. There are things that are a must. They call it the echo cornmeal. It's a cornmeal preparation that I have to do every time I do Ebo. Ebo means it's a part of it. It's the sacrifice from earth to heaven. All right, in which also require certain elements, you know.
But you were also saying that Ifa it's not just the African philosophy or religion or whatever you call
or
it. It's like can you
Ifa is a way of life.
Mm-hmm.
Ifa is a way of life. And one thing I love about the Ifa that comes from Africa is that they guard it. They protect this knowledge. They didn't allow it to get spoiled by political influence or by other religions' influence or, you know, or social, cultural influence of what's trending and what's not trending. You know what I mean? So they really kept it. They kept it to its essence. And of course, Ifa doesn't have to be practiced the same way that is practiced in Africa, because if we are in Norway, if we're in Peru, if we're in the United States, all right, there are certain parts of our cultural background that we also have to apply in it, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to confuse you guys, but what I mean to say is that Ifa is everywhere. It has different names. You know, the shamanics in Peru and in the Mayans era, the Aztecs era, the Native Americans of North America, the Apaches, the Cherokees, they practice this way of Ifa.
Mm-hmm.
The Chinese practice the way of Ifa. They have their own reading system.
In Russia we do too.
And I understand that, right? In Russia too, you guys have your shamanic system of communicating with the spiritual world, right?
Yeah, so I am from the part of Russia where we have our Asian population called Buratian, and they have their own way of doing also Ifa. We went to shaman. It was a normal practice, like other people from this region. They would go to shaman and ask for advice, like, do I need to get into this enterprise, or do I need to marry this person, or things like that, like things that they would have to make a decision, but they would go and ask shaman to help them to make that decision if it's favorable for them or not.
Yes, so you see, even in Russia, they practice this, the system, the peculiar system that comes from millennia ago,
Yeah.
that were passed through generations, and what works in that region.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? What works, because you're dealing with different elements in every region of the world. You know, for instance, like I say, sometimes in Africa, they have to offer certain particular fruits or vegetables or items that you cannot find in Peru, you cannot find in Russia or in Norway or in the United States. So that's what I meant to say when you have to adjust your Ifa to your region, to your area. That I am saying that Ifa doesn't belong just to the African population or the Yoruba. It belongs to the world. It belongs to humanity. But they were the ones that I noticed that they preserve it. You know, they preserve this, the essence of it. And that's why I went there. That's why I decided to investigate directly into it. And eventually, after all these, you know, these complications in the world with the coronavirus, all right, may all of us, you know, be able to overcome this tragedy, you know, that is happening in the world. So after all this, I am going on a search of interviewing shamans from all over the world, everyone that practices a way of communication with the spiritual world. I will go on a journey. That's another thing that I am doing.
You have some items here. I would like to show you guys what Walter had, and maybe you can talk a little bit about what it is.
All right. These are some of the tools I use, or we use in IFA for communication. This one is called Opele. All right, it's called the chain of IFA, in which it has double sides, right? And each side represents a 1 or a 0, right? And these are the things that determine what kind of code will you get, right? Out of the 256. And the first one is a Giogbe, all right? I'll show you. This is the first code, all right? This represents 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1. All right, it has 2 legs. That's what we say, 2 legs. And this particular code has so much information. This is the beginning, the light, consciousness, organization, support from the world, from the people, from the deities, new beginnings. All right, and I don't want to go deeper into it, but and then it comes like, now this is the next one, which is all zeros, or down. Also Ojekum Meji. Ojekum Meji means the averter of death, you know. So he overturns death. And I don't want to go deep into that, but it also has its meaning, you know, it's information that applies. And then comes the third Odu. It's called Iwori Meji. This is one way of interpretation, one tool to be able to get the code. That is easier for me to show you this than the other tools we use in IFA. All right. So then we have Iwori Meji. All right. These advices change through passion. All right, through the fire of passion. Okay. Also, the deep seer. Okay, so it tells you that you're able to see beyond your sight. You have these psychic abilities. All right. I don't want to go too deep into it because it will take us
Long time.
1 year for me to explain everything to you. 1 year, maybe more. No, not even 1 year. All right. So then, like that, this is the third Odu. We call it Odu. Every code, every one of the 256 codes, it's called Odu. O-D-U. O-D-U. All right, Odu. Odu Ifa.
Okay, I'm gonna turn the camera back.
All right, so now we're going back to. All right, and what it takes for me to get the code. Well, first of all, the person who is doing the reading, the person has to be in tune. Remember, Ifa is everywhere, and it's been called with different names. It's called Fa, Efa. You even call it Kabbalah. You know, even the Jewish practice this. You know, it's a way of Ifa, and that's another thing that I want to make you aware of. You know, and then the person, the practitioner, the Ifa diviner, the Ifa interpreter, is the one that has to be in tune. Remember, Ifa is everywhere, anywhere in the world, anywhere, any corner of the earth. It takes for the person to be in tune, mentally open to connect with the source of consciousness. Consciousness, that's what we're doing. We're connecting with the consciousness, the unified field, where all of us are one. Where all of us are one. That's how we're able to get the readings. So it takes the practitioner to be able to be connected, to be able to get all that information. And also the person who is coming for the reading, or the person that is, no, you don't necessarily have to come. We can do a long distance also. But that person has to be open. You know, no blessings can come to anyone if their head doesn't allow it. All right, it's another IFA message. All right.
Yeah, the same with
so
the
it takes
healing.
mind. It takes mind. It takes determination, mind, and openness to be able to receive this information. So that's what it is. We, in a way, like the shamans will do, they have to chant. They have to chant, you know, to be able to get that connection, you know. We have to connect, no the other way around. Many people say, oh, we got to summon the spirits. No, spirits are there. Spiritual realm is there. We are the ones who have to connect to it. All right, and there's a knowledge, of course. You got to know some rituals. You got to know some ways. And through meditation also you can achieve this way of having a clear view of course, you know, I'm going to tell you that for some people this is not necessary. Let's be clear, right? You see so many people in the world that they have less baggages in life. They have a life that is not that messy or not that toxic. So they do have a clear picture. Why? Because they have a clear mind. They have that deep connection with their consciousness. They're very mindful people. You know what I mean? So that's and that's what we are trying to achieve. And that's what I try to achieve in the beginning. Remove these, you know, negative feelings, negative people, or, you know, be able, not remove it, but, you know, just understanding about where all this comes from and what is that I need to do to be able to live a more fulfilled life, happier life. And I want to tell you so much about how is it that you can achieve this, you know. But remember, it takes decision, the person to be able to decide, to be able to accept all these changes or to walk this path. All right, so remember.
Yeah, I know there's a lot to talk about, especially at this topic, and I will share with you a link that Walter is planning to do his a channel, and he wants to talk more about all these things. But also you can get a reading from him. Just reach out to me or reach out to him, and we can talk and discuss this. But also, I would like to ask you, what would you recommend for someone who is embarking on a healing journey?
Recommendations about a healing journey.
Yeah. From the spiritual point of view.
All right, I will recommend change your diet. It's important what you intake, you know. If you eat well, you're going to feel well. And one thing I want to bring up, that through my whole diet that I was implementing on myself, I didn't realize that also the process of healing for me was a little bit, you know, like I say, it took longer, you know, because now it went into remission, you know, my arthritis. But one thing that I was not able to accomplish is that the inflammation was coming and going. Okay? But I said, but I'm eating well. I'm eating my vegetables. I'm eating healthy. I stop eating sugar. You know, I don't eat junk food. But guess what? I didn't know that there was some vegetables or fresh produce that will trigger the inflammation.
Right.
And it was, oh my God, I have no idea. It was a life-changing thing. And I learned that through Anastasia, through her findings, through her investigation. And she recommended me to try a new diet, this anti-inflammatory diet that really, really, really is like the cherry on top of the, the ice cream or the dessert, right? She sealed the deal, honestly, right there. That's one thing that completed my recovery from arthritis. Anti-inflammatory diet. For me, it worked.
Yes.
And for you?
Yeah, for me as well, it did work. The only one thing is that there's no one diet that can serve all the people, and people get onto this diet mentality. They're like, oh, I'm gonna try keto, it's gonna help me because it helped my neighbor. But then when they try this diet, they get worse because this doesn't work for them, for their unique body, and for them in particular. That's why when you get to work with a professional, you get to find what works exactly for you. Because, for example, Walter had arthritis, and he was keep eating vegetables that were triggering inflammation, and we now know that this it is a nightshades family of the vegetables, which is eggplants, tomatoes, potatoes, what do you call this,
Peppers?
The peppers, tobacco, goji berries.
Tobacco.
Yeah, so
it triggered my
all of this
inflammation, pain. It was so bad.
Yeah, entire family of these vegetables can trigger inflammation.
Yeah, and I thought I was eating healthy.
Right.
I thought I was, man, but this is a tomato. This is a potato. Bell peppers. I love bell peppers. I love eggplant, but it was triggering the inflammation. I said, why do I feel pain again? So yes, eating well, eating proper. We are all different. In life, we're all unique. These are the things I learned. We are all unique. We all come with our own trades and ways of ideas, and the things we do it differently, and that's what we need of each other. Because maybe I do something different that she doesn't do, so I can help her. And she does something that I don't do. That's what we need of each other. That's one thing.
Right.
That's where the oneness comes. That's where meditation comes in. You get to realize that we need of each other to progress, to grow, to live. So...
And also, and also the your advice to eat a different diet was also it has this spiritual background, because all of the vegetables and all of the proteins, they have a story behind it. It just, if you look into Ayurveda, they have this like every vegetable have a background and has an energy. Every vegetable has this vibration, and so it is also a kind of a spiritual realm that all our food has the vibration, and it depends on the food that we consume. How do we gonna vibrate, and how it is how
you're gonna resonate?
How you're gonna resonate, and how easy can you connect to that unified field that he's talking about. And some people can connect to this field very quickly, and they can start healing themselves. And also, if we look at it from the body perspective, when you are not when you are not aligned with what you're supposed to do in your life, and when you have lots of stress in your life, your adrenals start producing these hormones of stress that literally circulating in your body and poisoning you from inside out. But also, when you start meditation when you embark on this spiritual journey, and you get to calm your system down and switch on to the parasympathetic state of being, then your hormone expression changes, and instead of producing lots of hormones of stress, you can produce some different types of hormones that are healing. And so that's why meditation is so important, but also to be attuned with what your destiny is and what you need to do in your life is very important as well. And for Walter, one of the things that he done was started meditate, and then he was doing IFA and followed the IFA advice, because IFA, as he said, can see
beyond our sight.
Beyond, right? And so you received some of the advices from IFA that were related to your health, right?
Related to my health, related to my social lifestyle, related to my spiritual side, you know. And yes, it's been a wonderful experience. What else can I tell you?
I just want to thank you so much for having for giving us all this valuable information. And I think it's really important for people to know that there is this amazing tool available for them. If you're someone who's seeking spiritual advice at the moment in your life, you can reach out to me and I will connect you to Walter, and you can get your reading. It doesn't matter. Yeah, it doesn't matter where in the world you are. We've been doing some readings for my friends in Russia, and we've been able to give them some amazing advices.
Insight.
Yeah, insight. So Walter will do the reading for them here, but it works to any person anywhere in the world. So if you're interested in it, reach out to me and I will connect you to Walter. Thank you so much, guys, for watching us today, and thank you for joining us live. It was such a pleasure to talk to you about all the spiritual parts of the healing journey. This is important, and if you're someone who is just embarking on the spiritual journey, I would really recommend you to start meditating and do things that are in your power to calm your system down and start producing more of the healing energy for your body.
Yes.
All right, guys, so we'll talk to you some other time, and I will whenever Walter get his channel, I will share a link with you so you can connect and watch more wisdom that he has to share with you. And have a great day and keep safe. Stay away, stay home, and stay safe. Yeah. Bye.